Hello everyone, this is Sage Blue, and here's some more racing action in Driveclub. This time decided to drive the Ferrari California. Now, all these cars in this race are the Ferrari California to make it as equal as possible. Sometimes Driveclub can choose cars that basically take off into the distance because of their sheer speed in a straight line, or even sometimes they have good balance as well through the corners and good mechanical grip, so their cornering's quite good. So you may have noticed that my races in Driveclub have just included one make in those races and just that one particular model of car that I'm driving, just to make it equal and more challenging. It does definitely make it more challenging to drive through the field and to have any chance of getting into the lead. Now, the cars generally, I find it actually easier to get a smooth race going with the higher the skill level. So this is actually, the AI is actually set to legend here, and I found this track, Sinclair Pass, in Canada, and it's just fantastic. It's just so many different sorts of corners, a lot of undulations, and different widths to corners, like the one that you just saw then. And even when you hit apexes, the little banking ditches, that sort of thing, it's quite a rewarding track when you get it right. It took me quite a few goes to get up to speed with the AI at the legend level. Now, racing here, okay, so this is the pass for the lead, so it's the sense of speed, everything. It's I'd say Driveclub has, captured the sense of racing quite well. It's definitely more on the arcade-ish side, more thrill-seeking. However, it does have a good balance with realism as well. If you're after purely realism, obviously there are other titles for that, such as iRacing, the upcoming Project Cars, for example. But this still, nonetheless, taking nothing away from it, even with a bit of the arcade-ish feel to it, and the car physics tends to be a bit over the top in terms of going over the bumps. It's still an absolute thrill to drive. On top of that, just the atmosphere changing in weather, the graphics, as you can see, it's just a awesome thrill to drive. And just keep in mind it can take a while to get to grips with each track and car, which is testament to Driveclub as well. Each car does have its own characteristics. And in terms of the AI, each track, the performance of the AI and how they actually behave varies a lot. Some tracks are extremely difficult. I remember my first race in Driveclub, it was, I think, Ayush Points. Pardon me if I didn't pronounce it correctly. It's that race was extremely difficult to get a clean race with the AI. It was basically they were driving without awareness of where you were. They were just driving into you, even if you were on the inside and ahead of them going into a corner. So just keep that in mind. However, most tracks I find the AI is reasonable, including this track here. I got through the cars with relatively little fuss. They weren't barging me around much at all. And yeah, it's, what else can you say about this track? You can see the visuals, the mountains in the background, just everything, the undulations, the trees, the crowds, the sense of speed is definitely there. Definitely get, it's despite the arcade-ish feel to it, it's somehow I still get the feel that's visualized that it's actually as if you're really racing. Sometimes you can almost forget that this is a game. The graphics are that good and convincing that you really are racing. and it's well worth playing if you're into this sort of thing. If you're into racing with a bit of thrill seeking involved, where cars going over bumps and sliding, especially if you love drifting. This car very much promotes it. However, and thankfully, Driveclub does offer cars that have little drifting as well, so they tend to just drive smoothly through corners. The Ferrari California is one of them. It's not so easy to drift. You have to brake pretty late into corners at high speed, going too fast into those corners in order to get any tail sliding. You can see the way I'm going, I'm generally pretty smooth one corner after another, so I don't have to try too hard to drive smoothly. Whereas with some other vehicles I've given a try with, they're designed to slide around, and in Driveclub, when you choose your vehicle, it gives you indicators as to how much the car will drift and how likely it will drift while you're driving. So you can get the sort of vehicle that you want, one that drifts a lot or drifts just a little bit, or is quite difficult to get drifting at all. In other words, it goes around smoothly. So it caters for all sorts of races, which is a great thing. Now, I hope you're enjoying this race, and if you like my videos and would like to continue seeing more action, which there'll be plenty more of with Driveclub and various other games, don't forget to subscribe and like the video as well if you enjoy it, and see you soon.